Morning, and welcome to another episode from the wildlands in sunny Portugal. Although the weather is slowly cooling down, it's a maximum high of about 25 degrees at the moment, but it is getting slowly cooler day by day. So in today's video we're looking at a new major project on the wildlands where we're going to be clearing 3 terraces to make way for our new nursery area, which at the top point of the 3 terraces will be a large polytunnel, a potting shed and tool area, and then the next terrace down will be a large fruit forest, which will be made up of fruit trees, and then we'll be using permaculture techniques and gilding to plant lots of plants under those trees. So in today's episode, which is part 1 of the nursery area, we start clearing the top terrace, making way and flattening it out so that we can get a polytunnel in.
We are those weirdos, a family of 7.
We've been living, working and travelling for 2 years in our self-converted Sprinter van.
I have a chameleon.
We're driving to Portugal to find a bit of off-grid land to buy, then we're going to apply for residency and avoid the Schengen restrictions caused by Brexit.
We'll be filming every bit of the process so you can come along with us and be part of our journey. So we're starting a new project on the land today. So you'll have to excuse me squinting, but I wanted to be faced so that the area that we're going to be working on is behind me. So if you have a look behind this area here, which is the beginning of the main part of our land at the top by the olive grove, which we don't own, which is just over here. So this is the access in beginning of our land up here, and then that's Martin's van, which is at the beginning of the land, and our van. And this bit here is a lovely big flat terrace, and you can see that it's quite overgrown with some baby pines and a lot of brush, a couple of old grapevines. Got piles of wood on my left, and to my right this was the big hole that Frank dug to make this ledge and dam area here where the IBCs are currently temporarily placed. So I've got walking cam on, it's very overgrown here, and this is coming at the greenhouse area from the backside with our van behind me. So I'm just climbing up this big rock, and then you can see from where I'm stood to the first olive tree over here. That's where the greenhouse will go in there, and then all these big pines and oaks will stay. Just climb down here, give you a better view. So we've got to clear all this detritus from previous clearings from the last owner. You can see it's quite a big area, and our boundary ends a foot before that oil drum, just where the land goes up. So we can get a nice big greenhouse in here. I think it'll be a polytunnel from a local supplier that's made to endure the sun and keep seedlings shaded, but it does look pretty flat. But once we've cleared it and we can assess how flat it is, it might be that we need to get Frank in for a couple of hours to level it out. We'll see how it lies. But it's mainly bush and all this old choppings from past years that we need to clear, same as usual really. And then there is a lovely grape over there. Something big living in there. There's a lot of debris there as well. Looks like a bit of a rubbish pile. So it's quite nice. You can see there's a wall here. So that in fact is the end of that terrace where the greenhouse will be. And then that is the beginning of the next terrace. So it's right by where we live. I don't know if you can see in the distance, just over here is the Tarzan shower. And then the other side over there is Rosie's area. And then where the land raises up there is our boundary. So it's from where I'm stood all the way up here. So a lovely area, but a lot to clear. There's some quite big old cork oaks that look like they've fallen down there and died. So that all needs clearing. So a good few days work, more old vines down there. So all that's got to come out back to the bare soil, right up to the olive grove there. So those of you that have been following the progress will know from past videos that the olive grove behind us doesn't belong to us. It's quite small, 650 square metres, but it's a weird square patch which kind of is bunted on to the front of our land. We have put an offer in to try and buy it, although we don't particularly want another olive grove, as we've got 150 olive trees on the land. It would be nice to have square frontage, which would make it easier to fence off. And the olive grove is also very flat, so it would make a bit more parking, and it would be nice to have that, particularly on the front of the greenhouse growing area. So we'll update you on whether our offer for that little piece of land goes through, if indeed it doesn't go through before we finish clearing this bit of the land. Wonderful people. So it's day 3 or 4 of clearing the nursery area. You can see behind me I've got a massive pile which has primarily been created by Martin as we clear out the debris and all the detritus that's been left on the land, as well as clear out some baby pine trees as we flatten the area and get it ready for the nursery and our polytunnel, which is very, very exciting. I keep saying that, but I can't wait to get growing, particularly tropical plants, which was a dream of mine when I was much younger, living in the UK, and I had a small greenhouse and I filled my garden up with delightful tropicals, bananas and all kinds of stuff. I'm looking forward to doing that here as a little sideline business to sell and get some income, but also to have a large amount of plants to put around the land. And we'll also use the polytunnel for seeds and bringing on veggies for Missy to put in our fruit forest. So I'll give you a little pan round of the update, but I think we've got another week or so, I guess, of clearing to get this part of the land ready for when we get our polytunnel in, hopefully in just a few weeks' time. So yeah, very, very excited by that. You see here, this what is kind of a pile is actually a 2-metre hole by about 3 or 4 metres that Frank the digger made to get rid of previous debris and clearing, but we've turned it into Huggle Bed. So we've got a lot of trees and topsoil and mulch and pine needles and branches and leaves, and it already sunk down about 1 metre and we keep filling it up. So yesterday Martin added some of this not quite topsoil, not rotted down, combination of earth and leaves and rotting material and pine needles. So once the rainy season hits, that'll sink down a lot more and eventually it'll rot down and it'll be an amazing bed for growing. And that's just to the right of the big pile there, which I think we're going to get chipped. So get walking cam, you can see the path is relatively clear. And then yesterday I started clearing underneath this rather distressed apple tree, which is starting to look a bit better since we took all his dead branches off, but you can see the ground underneath is reasonably clear. And Martin's done most of the clearing down here. It's made quite a lot of headway, But we've still got a lot of grass to weed out, which we're going to compost. And then on the back of the olive grove, you can see that nice wall is starting to come into view, but we've not really started clearing that. There's a lot of brambles to take out there. So we've got to flatten all this off. Try and keep that lovely grate. Let me show you that, it's beautiful. Not been looked after probably for a long time, but if you look at the base, you can see, look at that wonderful trunk at the bottom. All gnarled. So we're going to try and bring him back to life and see if we can get him fruiting next season. So we're clearing, go down with walking cam all the way down here. Until this lovely terraced wall, which I lean over, it's about 2 foot high. As you'll have seen from previous footage, there's a lot of clearing to do in the nursery area and we're making good headway, although as we've been clearing and filming we've decided that it's just too much work to do manually, so we're going to get Frank back in to level off these terraces and dig us some more Huggle beds to bury a lot of the detritus and old wood left by the previous owner. And then we've got a fresh clean slate of land to put in the polytunnel and to get our fruit orchard going. So in the next part of this video, in a couple of weeks, we'll show you what Frank achieves and how it looks after it's cleared. So for now I'm going to go off and plant a very sad yucca. Juan and I were out for a walk through the woods near the wildlands and we found this yucca had been thrown out of a tractor, I think, left at the side of the road. It was obviously once in a pot, and we bring it back to the land and plant it up near where we parked the van and give it a new lease of life, hopefully. I'm going to plant it here, assuming I can dig a hole big enough because we've got granite boulders over there. All foraged, trimmed, replanted and watered. I think from the big trunk here, it was a big boy and it's been discarded, and then it's grown all these little ones, but it will grow up a couple of metres high eventually, I think. So we'll come back and have a look at that in a couple of months, see how she's settled in. She probably just likes the fact that she's had a water. Not in a pot at the side of the road, no water, just lying on a bit of dry ground in the woods. So I like that. First planted up at the top area. See what she does over the coming years. Water for the yucca now. Help keep the water in. So it's going to go round. You can see where the water is draining at the bottom. Going to put a circle around there and then put some of these white stones in the middle. There we go, foraged yucca planted and well watered. I quite like it. It looks pretty nice, so I'm pleased with that. It's probably Probably about a 50 quid plant once it gets going, if not more. It's going to be huge, lovely. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed seeing around what's going to be the nursery area and where the polytunnel is going to go and our fruit forest. So thanks very much for watching, and please do, if you haven't, do give us a like and pop us a subscription up there so you can follow our journey and our adventures and you don't miss an episode and an update. And just a quick question before I sign off. I'm thinking in November, rather than doing one larger video on a Sunday with the odd video on a Wednesday, I'm thinking of doing shorter videos as a daily vlog throughout the month of November to show you what we do on a daily basis, and looking at individual jobs and how we plan things, what we get up to when it's really hot, if it is indeed hot again, or if it's very, very cold or rains. So if you think that would be a good idea, perhaps you'd pop in the comments the kind of thing that you'd like us to show you through November, and then I'll see if I can actually manage to keep up with the editing daily and uploading. So once again, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for all your support and particularly your words of encouragement. And we do really enjoy reading your comments and answering your questions. So do get down below and drop us a comment. And thank you again very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers, bye.